What is going on? Where is everybody today?
I honestly don't know.
I don't know. We're failing at this. So
This
We have
is
to
really
make an
bad.
intro on our own.
How can we do that?
I'm
we're
so
not
bad at this.
No, we can't.
Okay,
Let's just.
This is Sports Zone.
Hello and welcome back to Sports Zone. This is our NFL segment, Going for Two. I'm joined by Justin. So a week ago, Super Bowl 52 was played between the Eagles and the Patriots. We shared previously our thoughts of how the game was. We thought the game was going to go. Played out a little bit differently, a lot more higher scoring. The Eagles coming out victorious, 41-33, getting their city's first Super Bowl championship. Vanquishing Tom Brady and Bill Belichick's quest for a sixth title. Justin, I guess we'll just quickly get some of your reactions from the game. Nick Foles, I think, exceeded expectations. The defense that we thought was going to play a bigger role in the game didn't really play much of a role, except maybe the Eagles at the end of the game. But what are your sort of reactions from this game?
Like you were saying, biggest reaction, the defenses didn't hold up. You had probably two of the top five defenses in the NFL going at each other. You thought it would be we both thought it would be a little bit less scoring. You know, I predicted 24-21. I think you predicted around the same. So we didn't get that. We got an all-time great shootout, 41-33. Nick Foles coming out on top. He was dialed in from the jump. He looked like he couldn't miss. Third down conversions, he was just on fire. Running game was stout. LeGarrette Blount was, like he always is, a beast going up the middle. And Doug Peterson's made gutsy calls all throughout the season, all throughout the playoffs, going forward on the fourth downs, calling some trick plays, even though Nick Foles called that Philly. And then, the Patriots, contrary to popular belief that Belichick can make the adjustment at halftime, just didn't make them. He didn't make them. The lack of a pass rush on their side kind of showed. And in the end, the Brandon Graham fumble turned out to be the one sack and the only second turnover of the game. So it was an exciting game. It was just not what I was expecting.
Certainly not, but I think definitely we can agree one of the better Super Bowls that we've seen in the past couple years. And I think we'll start with some of the fallout from the winning team with the Eagles. Now they've got Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles on the books. They've got Carson Wentz sort of recapping his knee reconstruction with the ACL and MCL tears that he has. What do you think the Eagles are going to do going forward with Foles? Because there was rumors even before the Super Bowl was played that they were looking to trade Foles. What do you think the Eagles do with Nick Foles?
Knowing the NFL and how cutthroat it is, they probably just trade him. I personally would keep him. I mean, it's the NFL. You can get hurt in an instant like Carson Wentz did this year. There's no question that Carson Wentz is your starter moving forward. But I don't see why you wouldn't have a good quality backup that could win big games for you. But it's the NFL. They value picks. They value youth. His value's never going to be higher. You might be able to get a third-round pick for him. I know the Browns are looking for a quarterback. The Jets are always looking for a quarterback, so maybe one of those two teams will be willing to give one up. He's only making $7 million a year. So even if you do bring him back, it's not going to break the bank. But I do think they'll end up trading him in the long run.
Interesting, yeah. Cutthroat nature of the NFL. And speaking of the cutthroat nature of the NFL, I think we'll transition and talk about probably the biggest storyline coming out of the game, not even related to the Eagles at all. It was Malcolm Butler and that situation of what happened there. He played, I think, one snap on a punt in the second quarter, didn't play at all. Bill Belichick, Matt Patricia have sort of been dodging the question after the game, not really much known there. But Justin, what's your take on the Butler benching and sort of the fallout of what this means for the Patriots?
I mean, my bigger problem with the Butler benching is you could have told the guy hour before the game. I think telling him during the national anthem is what makes it really bad. It's more so, and nobody else knowing why the decision was made, when it was made is my bigger question. I don't mind the move. I give Belichick some clout as a Patriots fan. He got me 5 Super Bowls. He's taken me to 8. I'm not going to question his decision. It's not like Butler's been playing great all year. Yes, he's played 98% of the snaps, but he showed some sign of slippage. And plus, if you go back to the offseason last year, he really wasn't in their long-term plans. They were thinking about trading him for Brandon Cooks. Then they didn't want to re-sign him. And then, they signed Stephon Gilmore to whatever $64 million deal he got. So it's not surprising. It's just when you see the game being played out the way it is, you question maybe you would have stopped him, but it didn't look like Nick Foles was going to be stopped. The pass rush, the secondary just wasn't playing as well as a whole. Even Stephon Gilmore didn't play well in the first half. Devin McCourty slipped on that Zach Ertz touchdown catch. So there were some plays to be had, even with Malcolm Butler being on the bench. They just didn't make them.
And sort of sticking with the Patriots for our sort of final thoughts in this aftermath of the Super Bowl, it was sort of conventional knowledge that going into the Super Bowl, it would be the last games with the Patriots for defensive coordinator Matt Patricia and offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels. Well, half of that held up to the bargain. Matt Patricia is the new head coach of the Detroit Lions, and Josh McDaniels, despite the Indianapolis Colts calling a press conference to announce him as the new head coach, he backs out. Even though some staff was hired with the belief that he was going to be there, he backs out and will return to New England. There's a lot of, suggestions, conspiracy theories about sort of what's going on between the Colts and the Patriots. McDaniels sort of reasserting the Patriots' heel role in the NFL. What is your take on this McDaniels situation?
My take is it's not a Patriots season if there isn't a conspiracy or some type of gate. We can call this McDaniels gate or something like that. Personally, I don't like the move. Not so much because he left the Colts job, is that he brought assistants who signed contracts and probably moved their families and stuff. I mean, if they did move, I wouldn't have a problem with it because, he's being forced to make this decision during the playoffs while he's also planning for the next team. I think this speaks to a larger problem of the NFL coaching window. It should be off-season, before the free agency period. So, if you're in the playoffs, you don't have to make that decision. Now, with the assistants being there, I wouldn't have gone back on my word. I get you probably don't feel comfortable about that, but you've already told, these 4, 5, 6, however many people that you're going to be moving there with your family, and they're doing the same. So you can't leave them high and dry like that. But this also speaks to the issue probably of Andrew Luck more than anything. I think if Luck is 100% healthy, McDaniel stays, I think we have to raise the question is how healthy is Luck? Will he be able to play next season? Is this going to be a long-term injury? What's his health like? So there's a lot of factors in there. I don't necessarily 100% agree with the move for McDaniels. As a Patriots fan, I'm sure I'm happy that he's going to stay my coordinator. Maybe the succession plan to Belichick, I don't know. Nobody knows that man. I don't even think he knows. But he thinks he made the best move for his family, so I have to at least respect that aspect of it. So.
And those sort of are the big storylines coming out of the Super Bowl. We may update intermittently as the rest of the semester goes, off-season news, maybe draft news as it happens, but this is probably our last football-related going for 2 of the semester. So thanks for watching and stick around for more Sports Zone.